back to school, I'm going to be giving you guys 10 habits that are not only going to help you survive school, it'll also help you be successful. I remember my first year, I was really trying to think of everything that I needed to be prepared, to be on top of my game, to stay on top of my game during school. And honestly, there's a lot of things I wish someone told me before I went into my first year or even my second and third year. So I'm going to be your big sister and I'm going to tell you everything that I wish someone told me when I was going into my first year. Before I even get into all of that, hi, my name is Tiana. I am a graduate. I can't believe I'm saying that, bro. I'm a graduate and those are my credentials, and that's why you should keep watching this video because I got my degree and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. If this is your first time watching one of my videos or even coming across my channel, hello, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Everything on this list is equally important. These are things that you're going to be doing on a daily basis, things that you can incorporate into your routine. So the first thing and the most important one is scheduling everything. Any important school dates you need to be taking down in the first 2 weeks of the semester. As soon as you get your syllabus, you're popping in all of those dates. I used to use Notion, so I would make a table in Notion and I would put in all of my assignments and then just order them by date and then check them off as I went along. It was a really good way to know all of my assignment deadlines in the same place and keep track of everything pretty well. As soon as I got my schedule, I would put all my classes down in Google Calendar so that I could see what time periods I would have free. If I had any kind of meetings or plans or intended to do anything throughout the week, I would try and do all of that and put it down on a Sunday. I wasn't very good at keeping up with it, but when I did, I found that my weeks just went a lot better because I knew exactly what was happening, what deadlines I had that week, what I was doing with my time. If you're someone who likes to write things down, you could have a calendar, a journal. I have a white Sharpie and I tend to write just things on my mirror. That is also very helpful because then I can see it as soon as I wake up because I'm looking at myself in the mirror almost every day, right? So if it's right in front of your face, you're not actually going to ignore it. Pick whatever method you prefer and that you can stick to so that you make it a more consistent habit. This is the one thing that will actually just save you throughout your whole university career, is having time management skills. You're going to be experiencing so many different things all at the same time. You're not going to remember everything. So please don't rely on your brain. Number 2 is having a bedtime. It doesn't matter what time your bedtime is, just have one so that on the days where you are either out with friends or you're just awake scrolling or even you're busy with assignments trying to catch up on schoolwork and stuff, you're not up too late. Obviously this can be flexible, so like during the week you might want to go to sleep at like 1 a.m. During the weekend you'd be up until like 3. I used to stay up until 3, 4, I don't know. My sleep schedule was all over the place, but what I'm trying to say is don't let your sleep schedule be all over the place. Make sure that you're prioritizing sleep because you won't be able to do anything efficiently if you are running low on sleep. And when you're running low on sleep, you tend to rely on coffee and monsters and things like that, which during final season I think is okay. But relying on that over a whole semester is just, it's gonna mess you up. So don't do that. So I would tell myself, depending on the length of the assignment, I'd be like, okay, by 2 a.m. I want to be done and going to sleep. Even if I'm not done, I'm going to sleep. Because you probably have a class the next day or you have something else to do the next day, which you need to be rested for. It also kind of goes back to time management because if you don't manage your time well, then you won't be able to sleep enough. So you really, really want to buckle down on the time management so that it doesn't affect your sleep schedule and things like that. And don't get me wrong, your sleep schedule will probably get out of whack at some point, but you just need to be aware that it's not healthy and you want to always try and get it back to a normal sleeping pattern. That way you'll be a rested human being and you're not going to be irritable while you're in class. You're going to pay attention, you're going to focus a lot better than you would if you're running on 3 hours of sleep. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I used to run on 3 hours of sleep, but it's just not the most effective or even the nicest way to spend a day. Number 3 is a little bit less serious but just as important. It's having small snacks in your bags, okay? You know those multi-pack boxes they sell of like, let's say small little biscuits, or it could be like a granola bar or even gummy bears. Like anytime I went grocery shopping and ended up getting one of those, I would just throw it in my bag, and during classes, in between classes, like just anytime that I was hungry, I had something to eat like with me, and then I didn't have to spend money on campus because campus food is expensive. And honestly, sometimes I'm not trying to spend that much money, and other times I just don't even have that much money to spend. So you kind of save yourself the expense if you have some small snacks in your bag, because sometimes you're not going to be on campus the whole day either. Maybe you just have a class or 2. It's also very easy to forget to eat in the midst of everything that's happening. Eating 3 meals a day, at least for me during my college experience, was a bit of a rare experience. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I would have 1 or 2 max and my snacks would actually keep me going. That's why I'm saying have some snacks, because some days you're not going to be able to get 3 full meals in, but at least if you have a pick-me-up or if you have something in your stomach, it'll keep you going, it'll nourish your body, it'll keep you somewhat energized. The next thing that will save your life is having a study buddy or an accountability partner. So this is someone in your degree or in some of your classes that you can study with, that you can keep each other accountable, remind each other of deadlines, help each other with assignments. I'm not saying go and copy your friends' assignments and things like that, but I'm saying don't work alone. You don't want to do assignments and studying alone because there's a lot of things that you might not hear in class. There's a lot of things that you might not know in general. So you really want to make sure that you speak to people and you have your study buddy, because both of your brains together is better than one. You kind of have someone who's going through the same thing with you at the same time as well, so you can go through that together. Going through university alone makes it 10 times more difficult. The fifth thing that helped me a lot was setting aside 10 minutes in the morning or even at night just to clean up my space, tidy up, make sure that it's a good environment for me to be in. This might not be the same for you, but being in a space that has a lot of clutter or is dark or is just messy really messes up my mind. It tends to affect my mood as well and how well I work. If you're in a dorm room, you're spending a lot of time inside your room, so you want to make sure that it's a nice space for you to be in. You want to make sure that it's cozy, it's, welcoming. Make it your safe space, because truly that is going to be your safe space. It's going to be the place where you're going to spend the most time, so you want to make sure that it's a good place to be in. And doing 10 minutes in the morning or at night makes it easier to keep up with cleaning, because you've been cleaning as you go and picking up after yourself. It makes it a lot easier to then just clean your room, let's say once or twice a week properly. Number 6 is to limit multitasking, and this is something that I did so often. I would be studying and watching a series or studying and doing something else. Just stop multitasking, because the truth is you can't focus on more than one thing at a time. Something has less of your attention than the it's always gonna be like this, and that means that one of the things that you're doing isn't being done well, and that's just gonna make you have to do it all over again. So stop multitasking and do one thing at a time. Switching your focus from one thing to another constantly means that it's gonna take you longer to properly focus on one thing, or that you're not even fully focused at all because you keep switching from one thing to another. Don't do things in a rush. Don't multitask, because that's how you end up doing things incorrectly, and that's how you end up missing a lot of things. Now that I've graduated and I'm looking back at what I did throughout my 4 years, the one thing I wish I did, and I think was a mistake for me not to do, was to network with everybody. Networking can really just be about making a connection with someone, learning something new, getting to know new people, building relationships with people who are in a similar space to you, or really just are where you want to be. Let's say network with your profs, network with your classmates, network with TAs as well, because you really never know who has information that you're looking for, who can open up a door for you, who can give you an opportunity. I'm not saying that you should go and talk to people with the goal of getting something from them, but speak to people with the goal of making a connection and building just some kind of a relationship with them, so that people can put a face to your name, especially when it comes to profs. I think at this point we all know the importance of networking, and university, as much as it is a place for you to go and learn and get your degree, it is also a place for you to go and network, because you're not going to have exposure to that many people ever again. So use it. Number 8 is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries with yourself, setting boundaries with friends, setting boundaries with everyone in all the aspects of your life. Because like I said, everything is gonna hit the fan at some point. One of my profs basically used an analogy, and she said that university is like a marathon with sprints in between. So there's gonna be moments where you are under high pressure, high stress and everything, and moments where you're actually just chilling. Periods of high stress would be, let's say, midterm season, final season. In times like that, you want to make sure you have boundaries with yourself to know that, okay, this season right now I need to be studying. So you're gonna set a boundary with yourself. So for example, it's saying I'm not gonna go out this weekend because I have a full week of midterms next week, or it's saying I'm not gonna go on that trip with my friends because I actually can't afford to, and if I go on that trip, I'm not gonna have money to survive throughout the week. Setting boundaries with friends is also very important. Knowing what you're going to tolerate, what you're not going to tolerate, knowing what your limits are as well, knowing what your values and beliefs are, and not compromising those for anything external. So you want to set boundaries, and you also want to be able to communicate those boundaries with your friends. Number 9 is having a happiness ingredient, or having a holy grail happiness ingredient. It's basically a thing, a practice, or an activity that you do that kind of just makes you happy. So one of my happiness ingredients is working out or physical activity. So that can be going to the gym, going on a walk. So a happiness ingredient can really be anything, but it shouldn't be tied to a person or a place, because if a person makes you happy and the person is no longer in your life, then you are not gonna be happy anymore. I really love the concept of happiness ingredients because it really shows you that your happiness is in your hand. You kind of take control of it, and every single day you make the choice to do something that makes you happy. Another example is, let's say, having a cup of coffee. So if you need a cup of coffee every single morning to get your day started right, it makes you happy, it gives you a little boost, yeah, you can have your happiness ingredient be having a cup of coffee. So every single day you have that time to do something that is going to make you happy, that is going to make you feel fulfilled. And so I think it's also kind of a form of self-care. It's very easy to stop prioritizing yourself and your self-care and your happiness, and you kind of just stop taking care of yourself, and then all of a sudden you're just doing assignments on top of assignments on top of assignments on top of studying on top of being with friends, and all of a sudden you have time for everything except yourself, and that's not good. So you want to have happiness ingredients. The holy grail one is going to be the most important one, so that's the one that you want to do every single day. You can have one happiness ingredient, you can have two, you can have three, you can have four, you can have five, you can have six, I don't know, it's up to you. My point is, make sure that you are doing something every single day that is for you and that will make you happy. Lastly is having good coping mechanisms. You're going to be dealing with so many things all at the same time. I know I've probably said this, I think maybe 3 times in this video, but I want you to take me seriously when I say that things are going to hit the fan. Everything is going to be up, down, up, down. You're going to be getting pressure from all the corners of your life. School, friends, relationships, family, yourself. Everything becomes so crazy. You need to have good coping skills, because even though so many things are happening, the world continues spinning, school continues happening. It's not an uncommon thing to experience symptoms of depression during university. So you really want to make sure that you have good coping habits and that you're able to identify times when you are just not doing okay and you need to give yourself more attention, more love, more care. So I got this really cute A to Z coping skills thing from one of my classes actually that I took in university during my last year. Wish I had this a lot sooner, but I'm really happy that I have it now, so I'm gonna give you this gift. One of my favorite ones on this list is asking for a hug. Hugs go such a long way. Actually is a stress reliever. If you can't ask anyone for a hug, there's a few things you can do to self-soothe and give yourself that same comfort that you would when someone gives you a hug. One of them is putting like a hand to your heart and keeping it there for like 5 minutes. Another one is actually just hugging yourself. I saw this somewhere, but I don't remember the other one, so if I find it, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But yeah, you want to be able to self-soothe. You want to be able to walk yourself through your feelings and get yourself through tough situations, because sometimes you're not going to have help, and really the only person that you can rely on is yourself. So those are the 10 habits that are going to help you survive and also be successful throughout your college year. Uni can be a lot, but it's also one of the happiest and one of the most like crazy times of your life. You're going to be doing a lot, you're going to be experiencing a lot, you're going to be having so much fun, you're going to make so many new friends, you're going to have such a good time. So if you do decide to incorporate any of these habits into your routine or into your life in general, I really hope they help you, because they definitely helped me. If you have any other tips or habits that you think people should incorporate while they're in university, leave them in the comments below. I'll be down there too. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to this point in the video, leave the name of the university you're attending or that you attended down below. I want to see where everybody went to school. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, night, anything. I don't know. If you want to watch another video, I'm gonna put them right here for you to watch, you know. Just